everybody. Welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda, and I'm here with my brother, Eric.
How you doing, everybody? I hope you guys are having a good week rewatching Friends with us. We are about to step into some real big episodes here, episodes 15 and 16 of season 3. But before we do, just want to thank you all so much for helping us out on social media and sharing and liking videos, commenting. I know I got in a conversation with somebody a little bit last week about one of our Stranger Things episodes. So
That's
continue
right.
to bring all of that towards us. We really appreciate it. And again, if you could share any of this with a friend, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, even just sharing with one person that you know is awesome. That really just helps us spread the word. And if you guys really are enjoying, not only listening to our Friends podcast and you haven't checked out the Stranger Things podcast, please listen to those episodes too. Let us know what you think there. Maybe you're new to that series or maybe that's a rewatch for you too. Either way, we'd love to have you. And just as a reminder of where we're at in our rewatch of Friends, during episodes 13 and 14, we had Richard and Monica having a bit of a backslide into being more than just racquetball buddies, until Richard reminded them again that they still want different things. Rachel and Joey swapped books that were their favorites. Phoebe dated a guy who wore revealing shorts. We also had Phoebe's musician friend from childhood, from the Barge days, returning just to steal Smelly Cat. And how dare she? And Chandler dated someone from Joey's past who has a wooden leg. We also had Ross exposing his possessive side, I would say, when Rachel prioritized her career, although we have a lot more on that today.
Also noteworthy, the one with Phoebe's ex-partner tied fake Monica, the one with Monana, for the worst episode in Friends so far. And I am still taken aback by that because I just don't believe that the episode in which Joey tells the story about throwing the wooden leg or the fake leg on the fire and Chandler's dating her and the whole situation with the nubbin, that is tied for the worst. And, we were talking off the air. You were like, oh, how is the Brown Birds episode not worse? And I totally agree.
Brown Bird.
Oh.
I'm like, the Brown Bird, because yes, people, we kept talking about this after the show ended, because I was that level of just like, what? Because we do not look at the ratings beforehand, and it's just like, I could not believe that the Brown Bird episode did better than the one.
Not a lot better, but it was like a 7.9, and this is a 7.6.
It's enough.
Putting some boats
Just the fact that it was better at all.
Yeah,
very strange.
The one with fake Monica is going to be hard to beat for the worst episode in my head, but the fact that now it is officially tied is crazy.
Yes, that's right.
Crazy. I wonder if we will find a 7.5 somewhere out there.
Maybe. Yeah, it might be.
So anyway, I don't think either of these are going to be there. I think these next two are going to be a little bit higher up on the list. And so we're going to start with season 3, episode 15, the one where Ross and Rachel take a break. And for our synopsis in this episode, the debate begins. Are Ross and Rachel on a break or not? Rachel is frustrated with Ross coming by the office, which leads to a huge fight. And in the meantime, Phoebe is dating a diplomat who needs a translator. And when the translator keeps getting in the way, she brings Monica as a wingman, but this becomes more of a distraction than it should be. Should we just talk about that one now so we can get it out of the way?
Can I just say, so I had to do a little digging into this because I was like, what country did they say
I don't believe it's a real country.
No, so they just make up this like Iknek Tryan Istan. I thought that was Phoebe just being Phoebe, and I'm like, oh no, they actually not only made up the country, but even the language apparently that they were speaking was totally made up just for the show, just to increase the humor of it all. So I just found that hilarious, and I didn't know that. I just thought that Phoebe was just being weird. And
when you're dating a diplomat from a really small country that nobody's heard of before, it's real easy when you just make up the country completely. No one's heard of this country, literally, because it doesn't exist.
So now looking at that from a different lens, like maybe this guy was just playing Phoebe the whole time.
No,
and he was just trying to hook up.
No, she was giving massages outside the UN.
Oh, my God.
Bodies that peace make peace, I think is what she said. Something like that.
You know when you're on a date and the guy's translator just gets in the way?
No.
No, actually I don't.
No. Nobody knows that. I'm fast forwarding to the end of that storyline, but I do laugh every time when Monica finally gets up from the table after the translator resigns and is like, my guy has coupons. Your guy can't even say coupons. And then they try to get it. He's like, plate? She's like, yes, plate. Then he holds up something else. Plate? Yeah, sure.
Although, do you know what always stands out to me in that scene? This is so silly, but where she says coupons.
She does. I didn't say it that way.
My guy has coupons. And I'm like, coupons?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if...
Who out there says coupons?
Hey, if you say coupons,
I say coupons.
Put it in the comments. Let us know. I grew up on coupons. Did not have coupons. That being said, maybe it's a regional thing, but I chose when I was re-quoting the line not to say it that way because that's crazy.
Kind of spelled cowpons.
Listen, I still say soda. I live out here in Ohio. Everybody's calling it pop, and I don't care. I stand on my New England standards.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's not a whole lot else to go with that storyline, so let's get into the meat of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I will say, the guys at the copy place, right? So when we're looking at this now, Chandler, dude, you kind of started this whole thing, and this is going back episodes, because Chandler has been a little bit...
This is a hot take. You're putting the blame on Chandler?
Poor Chandler Bing!
Debate? I've never heard this. Go for it.
It all starts with Chandler. If Chandler had been less of it, because listen, also looking at this again, Chandler's being real creepy here. When they arrive at the copy place, she's like, oh, it's the same guy from this morning. I'm like, what? Chandler, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is happening here? You're like stalking this girl at the coffee shop.
Chandler's still trying to get over Janice. He's dated a girl with a leg who rejected him for a nubbin. Like, he's having a tough go of it right now. I don't blame him, but you got to be better. You got to be better than what he was. Rough. He wasn't great in his performance at the Xerox place.
Yeah, and so she then invites both Chandler and Joey to the concert, then they assume that means that they're going to have a threesome. I love how that evolved in their mind. I'm like, what is happening, guys? There was some innuendo there, but she was also being funny.
She started that. And it is funny when they get to the scene where the two of them are like, okay, well, we should probably set up some ground rules for this whole thing. And it's like, okay.
Oh my God.
But
you don't know that. I don't want to do this with you.
Right. But this is how we get Chandler and Joey and the Xerox girl all at the club that Isaac is DJing at.
So he has invited this girl into their world, is all I'm saying.
Okay. Let it be noted. Let it be noted.
So, listen, I'm not saying he is, but okay. He might ultimately be the root cause. If we were going right back to square one, how all this got started.
I actually have more blame to throw on Chandler later, to be honest.
Oh, no.
So I wasn't prepared for this level of Chandler blame, but he's going to be catching some stray bullets here in a second.
I have a feeling I know what you're referring
you should.
to, and
Okay.
But then
let's dive back into what we were tiptoeing around in the last episode too.
Yes.
Which is Rachel, in my opinion, is a little out of control here. Right? She is so adamant that no breaks can ever be taken. There is no time in her life for anything other than work. It's a little too much for me. It just is such a jarring whiplash from girl who used to be the coffee server to high-powered Bloomingdale, person, like worker. I forget what her official title was. Buyer? She's assistant buyer at this point.
Assistant buyer, yeah.
It's just, there's so, is she that yet? She might not be that yet.
I don't even think she's that. No, I don't think, no.
She has to get promoted to be assistant buyer.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of in here at some job.
Yeah.
Working as an assistant. And it's just such a hard swing that I understand Ross feeling like he's been ripped out of something that he doesn't deserve to be ripped out of. That being said, he makes a lot of mistakes, and some of these moves, like showing up with a picnic basket, that's not the way. Listen, there's no chance that if Rachel is that committed to getting her work done, that him showing up with a picnic basket is the move. To be fair, Rachel's coworker sees the romance in it and wishes that she had somebody who would do that. And how cool is that? But Rachel doesn't see it. She's not willing to see it. She's not opening her eyes to anything other than, I have to get this order done.
Okay, listen. Okay.
Just putting it out there.
It's not even to me. If he had just showed up to her work and maybe waited till she got off the freaking phone. Okay, people, like he was literally grinding pepper. Okay, this is a comedy too, so this is all
mistakes made.
But he was grinding pepper while she's in the middle of a phone call where she is like panicked, like clearly, dude, read the room. Like,
I agree.
Then he's lighting flame. He's like lighting the candle. Things are setting on fire. He's literally trying to ask her a question about the wine while she's talking to someone on the phone. I'm like, dude, I can't even, like, I could not get over him in that moment. Like that, it was just insane.
I don't disagree that this was a bad move by Ross all the way around. I'm saying by him going there is there are employees who see the romance angle here, but he's got to know that if she's in this brain space, showing up at the office isn't going to do it.
This is what frustrated me the most in this rewatch of this episode is no one was listening to Rachel. Rachel was actually being very clear with her decisions in that moment. She said clearly to Ross, I do not have time. He might not have liked that. And then guess what? Ross, you're free to make your decision as to what that means, but don't take that as I'm just not going to listen to you, right? And then equally as frustrating is Mark also did not listen to Rachel. Rachel clearly said, "Do not come over." And he's like, "I'm just going to be right there." And it's like, these guys just, no one is listening to her. And for someone too, so like Rachel, her character is sort of known for not being able to make firm decisions, right? And like she's wants to please other people and is very wishy-washy, and that's kind of how her character is built and portrayed. And in general, she tends to follow that. And while she is trying to be very firm and direct here, No one's listening to her. And it just really aggravated me here. And I'm just like, wow, she's trying to set boundaries. And he just doesn't seem to get it. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like, she's trying to. And I get the pivot of it all and that she has made this drastic change. But it's like, all right, Ross, then if you don't like it, then you have to make a hard choice.
Well, that's just it. And I totally get now. We're going to come back to that Mark section of this episode here in a minute. Yeah. But the going to work was a failure point. And I totally, I understand, is her name Sophie, the other girl that's there? She got it. She sees it. She understands it. Wishes that she had that in her life. Rachel's not going to see it. She would never see it. And Ross has got to know that. Ross has already sent a barbershop quartet and every stuffed animal under the sun. And he did not learn from those mistakes. And he even knows Mark doesn't work there anymore. So the idea of going over there to like get in the way of Mark, that's not a thing. You don't have to worry about that anymore. However, then they come back, or Rachel comes home from work, and there's an immediate disagreement on who owes who an apology. Ross, this is where you got to just suck it up and apologize regardless.
And he never learned that lesson. He doesn't learn it here. He doesn't learn it in the future. It's so bad.
Well, listen, we'll get to the future in the future. But for today, if he wanted to make this relationship work, he's got to apologize for coming down, because that's on him. But she should also be apologetic for this whole concept of not having any time at all for anyone else in her life. She has to see that that's a problem. And he's trying to explain that, and she doesn't care. She's just like, listen, this is the most important thing to me right now. And it's like, I hear that. And he does say, it was like, listen, I hear that. I understand. I get it. But you have to have balance. That's his whole pitch. And she seems to not want to have balance right now, which then makes it very difficult. And she ultimately says at this point, let's take a break. And as I would like the record to show, when he starts walking out, she makes it very clear that they're going to take a break from them. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
We agree to that?
And absolutely, no, 100%. I mean, she even says, which we will get to, but since this is a rewatch, I'll just say it now. I mean, even in the opening of the next episode, she says to Monica in the kitchen, like, we broke up. Yeah. It's not even like on a break. Like, she's like, yeah, we were going to do that. And then we broke up instead. And Ross says the same thing to the guys. So they clearly make that like very obvious in the episode where it's like, hey, they've both said to their own,
have admitted
friends
that it was a breakup.
That it's a breakup. And it's not that really is the true argument. It is that who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Because regardless of the terminology,
we know the answer already.
No,
that they have in fact.
We know. Yeah, we know the. Now listen, I will say. Wait, now I'm getting a little bit. This is the episode where, because there is that scene. I think it's in this episode where
with Mark. Because we have to get to Mark here too.
No.
That's in this.
Where Rachel is hugging Ross and she's saying, "You understand that, don't you?" And he's going, "I don't." When she's saying about that my career, that was in this.
That was in this episode. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And that part, Ross. Oh my God. Like, dude, that
was like earlier in the episode.
Yes, but that just shines this light to me on who he like she's having this very clear explanation to him about listen, I get it. Our relationship, and this is because of what you just said about how she doesn't explain it to him. Well, she did. And she says, listen, this is where I'm at. Listen, some things are just for me. And I like that. Right. And that's okay. And he's like, sure, it's okay. And then he's mouthing to the camera, no, it's not okay.
Right.
And I'm thinking it's not like, isn't it healthy in a relationship to have like some things that are separate and just your own? And to me,
I don't
I
understand
feel like
Ross's point there either.
no, like it's really bad. And that's why I said earlier that like we kind of saw this possessive side in him. Actually, I think that was at the very end of the last episode. Now that I'm thinking about, that is how the last episode closed out, with her saying that to him.
No, episode 14.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
that's after after. You're right.
Yes. That's where my note about we saw Ross's possessive side. We just didn't make comment of that in our last recap. But yes, that is when that scene happens. And to me, again, that it's just so telling. And that just really frustrated me. I'm like, why can't you let her have this thing? It's clearly important to her. She's explaining to you what's happening. She's explaining to you that it doesn't have anything to do with how she feels about you. Now, is it still taking up more of her time that he would like? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that he doesn't like the direction that it's taking her life. And I don't know. Tough choices.
Okay.
These are this is what's going down though.
Well, let's get into the juicier side of this whole shenanigans now.
Yeah.
Because now Ross has left the apartment. Rachel has made it very clear that they're on a break from each other. And then he somehow knows to go to the club that Chandler and Joey are at, which I always get a little bit of a chuckle out of the fact that Xerox girl's like, oh, hey, let me introduce you to my friends. And they all like shake hands like they're meeting for the first time.
I know.
Like, oh, yeah. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay.
I know.
And yeah, so then we get the guys asking how the anniversary dinner has gone, and him saying, oh, we decided to break up instead, which is what you were saying. He's now announced that they're going to break up, and the two guys are looking at each other like, whoa, what? And so we then get Chandler ultimately convincing Ross to call her and get her back. And Ross is like, don't I have to wait for somebody? He's like, no, call her right now. It's not like getting in the pool.
It's not like swimming.
After you eat, call her right now. So Ross does. And you can see that Ross is very remorseful at this moment, wishing that things had gone differently. He goes over to the payphone and he goes to call. However, let's pause that storyline and we'll flip to the Rachel side of this. Because at the same time, and this is where we have to have some questions. Because out of nowhere.
How does Mark know where she lives?
No, better question for you. Mark calls Rachel. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he can tell that she is upset. And he says to her, isn't this the night of your big anniversary dinner?
Mm-hmm.
To my question, why is Mark calling her if he knows that it's the night of her big anniversary dinner?
Because he's a sleazeball. Because he is the worst. Yeah, Mark was intentionally trying to make something happen. I mean, that was Mark's intention this entire time. I mean, that piece has never been in question. I mean, Mark was clearly after Rachel.
Like a few episodes we debated that.
Oh no, Mark's
he would totally give her a job for nothing at all. Like,
oh no. That was definitely I've never questioned Mark's intentions. What I was saying is that no matter what, because this is the argument that Monica made, who cares what he wants? You have to trust Rachel, right? And that's why Rachel, I think, was just being extremely naive in all of this and thinking he's just being my buddy, my confidant, as the guys had said. Yes, he's working his way in. But then instead of, listen, there's really not a great way to deal with that, but it's not how Ross handles it, that's for sure. But to my point is, I'm like, how the heck does Mark even, like, why is he just calling her at that point and just showing up? Like, he's just taking liberties all over the place. Like,
invites himself over with food.
No.
Right? goes up there. It's just the two of them. Then Ross, other storyline, decides he's going to calls Rachel. Now, I have to say, this is funny. I'm watching this with my wife, who is like one of the biggest Friends fans on the planet. And she's watching this. And as Ross is talking to Rachel, Mark just won't shut up in the background.
That.
And my wife is like, Mark, shut
up.
Stop talking.
Every time. It's like, just stop. Oh.
But this is where I empathize with Ross. Because now she has told you you're on a break. And there's no time in her life for any sort of relationship. And you call an hour later.
This is so
and
bad.
He is in the background.
It's insane.
I'm not saying there weren't assumptions made.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Ross didn't make some horrible choices moving forward. But if you are Ross,
no, I get
this
that.
picture is clear as day. And he slams the phone hanging up.
Yeah,
and there's no way that he's walking away from that thinking anything other than this is over.
Yeah.
She's with him and she didn't want me to begin with at all.
I know.
And I don't blame him for any choices he's made after that.
I blame him.
Don't blame him for that because of what he saw and heard.
Well, he should have marched right over to Rachel's and punched Mark in the face, and that would have been a lot better.
Well, that would also have been a interesting point. Like that would have been a nice plot twist.
Right.
But Ross isn't that guy.
Well, Ross usually
None
isn't
of
that
the
guy.
Guys are that guy.
But he's also not that guy to like hook up with the copy chick either. Like that
that's true.
Is
but
not
he,
him.
But he was not in his best mindset. And I'm not making that as an excuse because I will never make that as an excuse. But that is but yeah.
But yeah, Mark
I understand. Let's just put it that way.
Mark was just so frustrating in this scene. And that just, again, I will restate it. Just the fact that no one is listening to Rachel in this episode just really, really irritated me. And especially in this rewatch, it was just really bothering me. Especially just Mark not listening at all. Saying like, hey, like, who do you think you are, dude? Like, you guys are barely even friends. Like, you're coworkers and you're just showing up like that. Ugh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know. What is he, HR? How did he even get her address? Messed up. Messed up.
So we're just going to roll this right into season 3, episode 16, The One, the morning after. And these two are going to just kind of probably blur together a little bit for us. But my synopsis, I wrote, this is the episode. Ross has slept with the Xerox girl and Rachel finds out. After failing to fix the trail, the two end up in a heated argument that takes most of the episode while the rest of the gang is listening from Monica's bedroom. So this is, again, to take away from the episode for a moment and just kind of talk about what we've talked about. These are my favorite episodes where all 6 of them are doing the same type of story all together in the same spot. Now, they don't know that they're all in the same spot for most of this episode, but they are. And I know not the whole episode is that way, but like 80% of it is that way. So, okay. I spoiled some of this earlier by saying I have things to say about Chandler. Okay?
You always have to think about the trail.
You always have to think about the trail. So, I guess before I get to that, we should try and do this in a little bit of order.
Yes.
Ross is obviously waking up. The Xerox girl is there. He doesn't even know what happened until he hears her voice. And then he finds out that Rachel is coming to the apartment at about 8:30, which is pretty much right then. Thoughts on this? I don't have anything like pressing to say about this section.
I mean, if anything, maybe he should have just, like, not answered the door and, like, pretended that he had already gone to work. Like, I don't know, that whole,
Like there would have been better options to keep it a secret.
No, I mean, like, instead of having her over and them getting back together while this girl was in the apartment, I don't know. To me, that whole part made it so much worse. Ugh, there's no, listen.
Look, I got big questions about this Xerox girl too now. Like,
yeah,
she has no care if you're married or whatever. And I'm just like, hey, Chandler, are you taking eyes on it? You watching this? Like, this relationship that you're hoping for?
That was one of my questions to you is like, okay, we've talked about how scummy Mark is. Like, which one is worse, Mark or the Xerox girl? Like, she just clearly says to him, oh, it doesn't matter if you're married. Like, she's just like, oh my God.
Listen, Mark is worse.
Yeah.
Mark is worse because this has been like long standing.
Yeah,
the seeds have been planted. It's sitting there for a while. You can walk away from the Xerox girl real easy.
Well,
and in all honesty, like, I don't know what everybody finds the big deal about her. Like, she's all right.
Yeah.
That's not special enough that Chandler should be walking down there twice a day.
I know.
Come on now.
Well, and it's not even that. It's like, yeah, even the next morning when he's like, you know, that girlfriend I was telling you about, well, we're going to get back together. And she's like, yay. It's not like she's trying to go after him in a serious way, though. Like, she's just trying to have fun and doesn't really care and isn't really, she's just sort of, but not really putting too much thought into it. Whereas Mark is like really vindictive. I would say he is like really aggressively going after her despite knowing that she has strong feelings for.
He's sure gonna be.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we move from there. We go over to the guy's apartment where Ross is now telling the guys what's going down.
Yes.
And they are adamant that he can't tell her.
Here we go.
And this is where I've got things with Chandler. Chandler's got the whole trail thing. And listen, I don't blame Chandler and Joey for taking this stance because telling her is going to be horrible.
But Chandler's line, how dumb are you?
Like, that is a resounding statement. Dude, and here's the funny thing. Ross is so obviously remorseful and upset with himself through his decision making. And I still will stand here going, listen, I get it. You made a horrible mistake here. But with all the evidence that you had in front of him, like, I get making that mistake. I get it. But that being said, basically, Chandler and Joey push him out the door to go fix the trail and try and keep it from Rachel. And ultimately, those of you who have seen the episode a million times, Ross bounces from the Xerox place to Phoebe's work to the coffee shop where, as you stated in our last podcast, Gunther ends up being the one who finds out and tells Rachel off camera. And Ross, kind of drops his head, turns, and you see Rachel sitting across the coffee shop, just fuming and upset and every emotion you could put together all at the same time.
I so wish we could have seen that conversation between Gunther and Rachel. I was thinking that when watching this again, I'm like, oh, that would have been like, I mean, it's better that you don't see it, right? Because that's really not the important piece. It's better that you don't see it. But you also kind of, it's like, oh, I really wonder how that went down, you know?
Well, and we've talked a lot about the extended scenes. That's not in there.
No.
That is never a thing that is seen. And I think it's good that it's not shown because it gives the allure of Ross is still trying to fix this.
Yeah.
Where if you had seen it, you knew it wasn't going to happen. And so it keeps the mystery of, can he stop this from getting out a little bit of legs until he runs into Gunther. And of course, Gunther would be happy to spoil that.
Yeah.
With all we know about his feelings for Rachel.
I kind of, Another thought that I was having while watching this again is wouldn't Rachel have wondered why Ross wasn't questioning like Mark being in the background at all? Cuz he didn't bring that up again. Like she showed up at his house, showed up back at his house saying, "Hey, I want to get back together. I never wanted to, I didn't want to break up." And he's like, "Oh, absolutely." And it's like, you would have thought that in that moment
that never
that
came
would have
up in
come
the
up,
argument.
and guess why it didn't? Because he felt so bad, right? So it's like that wasn't even on his mind, and it's like you would have thought she would have even said like that was nothing, like like he just had pushed his way in, or like he just insisted. I told him not to come over, but like that didn't even come into the conversation at that point.
No, because like being able to see it from like an omniscient point of view where we see all of these things happening at the same time, it is very easy to see how Rachel didn't do anything wrong and Ross did something wrong. If you think of it from their perspectives, they both think the other person has now done something wrong. But Ross thinks it. Rachel knows it. And somewhere, I'm just going to hope that came up off camera as part of this argument, because it lasted all night long. We only saw some pieces of it.
Yeah. And I do love,
but it never came up for us to see.
And I do love the comedic relief of this episode too, with the waxing segment.
Yes.
Where like the girls are, go ahead.
So at this point, like, listen, Ross and Rachel are now back in the apartment after finding out, and they are screaming at each other and heated about it. And all the other four of them are in Monica's bedroom because Monica and Phoebe were testing this boy, I can't speak, this leg waxing stuff. And Joey and Chandler ran in there to try and save them from some sort of attack because they were screaming so loud, only to find out that now in come Ross and Rachel, and they're going to close the door and just kind of hide behind it. Love this side of the door. Everything that happens on this side of the door is awesome, and it's necessary because it gives this episode an opportunity to breathe.
Yeah.
If it's just Ross and Rachel hammering away at each other for 30 minutes, you get tired of it.
Yeah.
But they give you enough points to smile and laugh, to kind of take a break from the emotion of Ross and Rachel breaking up.
Yeah, I mean
that it's worthwhile.
Yeah, you have to have those funny moments. You have to have all the characters somewhat involved. And they do bring this, like, the way that they pull that together up in a few different episodes. It's making me think of, like, in the future when they're at that conference for Ross and, like, they're listening in to the other room. Like, they have the cup to the wall and they're, like, listening in. So it's, like, and how they, and then there's also the future episode where they're like, "Oh, we brought snacks because we remembered the last time that this went down." So they bring up this the way that they divide up the group this way and listening in from the other room several times, and it's always really funny.
So do you have a favorite piece of that side of the door?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love when they find out that when Ross says to Rachel, "Well, I was gonna tell you, but Chandler and Joey convinced me not to," and Chandler's just like, because right before this, Chandler had been saying, "I think it's okay if we go out there, it's fine," and he's like, "Well, we're just gonna wax this door closed now," and he just like, "Well, I'm never getting out of here.
This door shut. We're never leaving." And meanwhile, you also see in that moment, Monica and Phoebe just be like, "You what?" like you can see their face go, "Oh, this is your fault."
Yeah. You guys knew about this? Yeah. And then sorry. What's your favorite
personally, part? I'm gonna go with when Rachel asks, "Well, how was she?"
Oh.
And
don't answer that.
Chandler's like, uh-oh. And then Rachel says something else, and Joey's like, well, don't answer that. It's like, well, how was she? How was she? She's like, awful, not good, nothing compared to you. It's like, she was different.
Oh.
They're like, ooh.
Nobody likes change.
Nobody likes change.
Oh, dude.
Which is another line that is used in my household all the time. Nobody likes
change. Well, but I also do love the lines when they're just sitting there and Joey's like, I think I need a new walk.
I need a take notice walk.
I need a take notice walk. He's like, what? Are you actually saying these words?
I mean,
I wonder if that was ad-libbed.
That gets said. I don't think so. These are the things that just get said in like the craziness of sitting in a room for hours when you cannot leave.
Yes.
Like, what else are you thinking about, right? Like, what else could you possibly go to? But again, this side of the door steals the show because everything that's said on that side is awesome. When it comes to the Ross and Rachel side, this is just the pinnacle of everything that we've been leading up to. The exhaustion that you see from them trying to like work it out. Ross trying to do his absolute best not to have this thing end right now. Rachel looking all cried out.
Yeah. I mean,
she's got nothing left.
That's where, like, you know, as funny as this show is, I have to say personally, like, I think both of their acting is so good in this scene. Like, you really feel it, and it feels very real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston are awesome. Like, they're both very, very talented, and, like, I just felt like from the moment even, like you mentioned, where he turned and saw her sitting in Central Park, just when he found out that she knew, and you could just see it, like her emotion is just so palpable there, and she's awesome. Yeah, she's just so good. And this whole scene, like the way that it plays out, I love their chemistry is so awesome. And everyone, I feel like, even if you haven't gone through anything, hopefully you haven't, anything specifically like this, like any type of like intense, you know, argument that you've had with someone that you really do love, I mean, you can kind of like relate to that in that way. So that's why I feel like also, you know, Friends did so well, because it's like there are those relatable moments that you can take. But yeah.
Now, this sets the whole thing up though. So I have to ask the question. Were they on a break?
I mean, listen, they were on a break, but it doesn't make it right. So to me, they were not because they were not only on a break. To me, they were actually broken up, because they even said that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But at the same time, Ross was completely wrong. Like, what is the line that Rachel say? Well, you sure had a good time at the wake. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. Like, first of all, like, even when she said, well, maybe we should take a break, and he didn't even, he's like, well, let's go get some frozen yogurt or something. It's like, he didn't even register. So you'd think that, like, they would have maybe had more of a conversation. Like, I don't know, for him to then leave and like go to a bar, get drunk and hook up with someone. It's just like, dude, you messed up. This is totally, you are in the wrong. I don't care what you call it. It is just bad. I mean, because regardless of what you said about being on a break, broken up, like, you know that you want to be together. You know that you want to be with her. Yeah. So why are you doing this? Like I said before, I mean, Ross is just one self-sabotage after another. It's bad.
And you're not wrong. You even get Rachel saying, listen, you're not going to win this on a technicality. No. And I think that's the funniest thing. When we talk about this concept with Friends fans over the generations. Were they on a break? Weren't they on a break? I think it feels like at least 75-25 say they weren't on a break. And the answer is, as far as I'm concerned, they absolutely were on a break. That doesn't make what Ross did correct. And it sure doesn't help them moving forward.
Right.
But I feel like people get attached to the whole idea of, well, Ross is in the wrong here, so they weren't on a break. And it's like, no, pump the brakes. Both of these things can happen.
That's right.
They absolutely were on a break. And he also made some horrible choices that emphasized break is in fact official.
And that's what to me makes Ross long-term the funniest character in the whole series, because he just like constantly makes the worst choices for himself, and it just continues to get more and more hilarious, in my opinion. That's why I find him funny, because it's like, dude, you are just... The fact that he is like the worst in so many ways, to me, also makes him the funniest, because he is just so absolutely ridiculous, and it's like, oh, it's just painful to watch.
I think,
but funny.
Ross, I think he's the most polarizing character.
People hate Ross.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think he is either your favorite character or your least favorite of the six. I don't think there's a lot of middle ground there. I will say he was never my favorite character on the first few watches, but after watching enough times and maybe just being older and watching it, Ross is absolutely my favorite character in this show. I definitely fall in the Ross is the best of the bunch. There's just so much that plays out with him. And
but I also I get it. I mean, Pedro can't stand him. He's like, oh my gosh, that guy. He is just so annoying. I'm like, most people do think that. Yeah, it's like, oh, that guy is just the worst. He just makes the worst choices. I'm like, yeah, that's why he's funny.
And this stretch of him like going to Rachel's office for these last few episodes. Oh, it's the worst. It is the worst of the worst. It's real really bad. And I know, listen, he's got some cringy moments coming up, which I think are where he's at his funniest.
Yeah.
But this has been exceptionally bad. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the IMDb segment of our episode here, where we talk about our favorite and least favorite characters, and we also rate the episodes with our favorite and least favorite and try and get close on the ratings. Of the last week, my favorite episode ends up being the worst one in the history of the show so far. Hopefully, these will be a little bit better than that. And I think, in my opinion, it will be notably better than that. Let's start with characters. You want to go favorite or least favorite in these?
I will start again with the least favorite character, which might be pretty obvious from what I've been saying, but I'm going to go with Mark. Mark is my least favorite character. I mean, he is just... he's
almost always my least favorite character. But
it's like same. And he could have been, but he was just way more in the spotlight. Him showing up with the food, it was just so bad. And how he just, I'm right there with Tina, where I'm just like, Mark, I have in all caps. I'm like, he is intentionally asking her what she wants to drink while she's on the phone, and he knows it's Ross, and like, then he just keeps talking. Like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Please stop. It was just really bad. So Mark. What about who is your least favorite character?
Okay.
And you can have the same one. I know you always try to mix it
up. I don't. I'm going to stick with what I wrote down.
Okay.
And I will defend this a little bit, because I didn't pick...
You wanted to pick a main
someone
character?
Who wasn't used. I wanted to pick someone who was like really in this.
Okay.
And So I actually picked my least favorite being Rachel of these two. And
Ouch.
To me, I wholeheartedly hear what you're saying, which is no one's listening to Rachel, and she's being incredibly clear about her expectations early on, right? Mm-hmm. This is what you were saying. Mm-hmm. So I hear that, but her putting this relationship that she wants to have on the back burner is brutal to me. And then she's the one who puts the break in play, even though you know she doesn't want it, and she says she doesn't want it. Mm-hmm. But then Mark shows up, and she doesn't have to let him in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She could have said, no, get out of here.
That's true.
There are opportunities for Rachel to have been more clear. And I feel like Ross made a lot of mistakes, and he made some assumptions that shouldn't have been made. But those assumptions were made because of the things that Rachel said or showed, or not to her fault, had going on in the background, although she didn't have to let him in. All of these things I'm saying, this is not me saying Rachel was wrong. Yeah. It's just, there were a lot of things there that made me go, oh, could you just have done this a little bit differently? Because genuinely, I think her character work is some of the best character work towards the end of this. Like through the breakup, she has, or like we were talking about, Jennifer Aniston as an actor is killing it in this episode. Mm-hmm. And so that I appreciate, but she's still my least favorite when it comes to this bunch, because in all honesty, to be fair, everybody on the other side of the door, love them.
Yeah.
Like Chandler, Joey, Monica, Phoebe, they're killing it over there. So it can't be any of them. It's got to be somebody else. Mark is fair, but I'm really looking at both of these episodes as like one giant episode. And I think some of the stuff from the first one weighs in more than the second one. So that's why I have it. How about your favorite?
So Rachel was actually my favorite.
Fair enough. I think there's a good reason for it. Yeah. I actually laid out an argument why she could be.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, listen, it is frustrating for Ross for that reason, but I also feel like Rachel actually did nothing wrong. And she did clearly explain, like, hey, listen, this is where I'm at in my career right now. Like, I'm trying to make these jumps in my career, and I'm focusing on work, and I love you and I want to be with you, and like, that's not going to change how I feel about you, but I need this thing for myself. And she's never had that ever before. Like, just independence as a whole. I mean, just a couple of seasons ago, she was using her dad's credit cards for everything. So it's like she's trying to really grow in that way and not just rely on her partner for living and for, and relying on Monica for having a play. Like, she wants to earn her keep. So either way, so I feel like she is trying to work really hard. Yeah, it's making things more difficult for a relationship right now, but she's also made that clear that she doesn't want it to impact that. And yeah, maybe they just need to have more conversations about it. And I get it though. She was the one to then say, well, maybe we should go on a break. But this is only following Ross, like, literally lighting her office on fire. So I just feel like,
well, that did happen.
That was a really brutal scene. Like, I feel like if he had not shown up like that at her office and he had just listened to her, all of this could have been solved. And it's like, dude, you were married before too. Like, you would think like he would have had some like lessons about communication, like, learned along the way.
You'd think.
I don't know.
Well, and so let me take that and I will roll this then into my favorite character. Yes. Okay. And this is the thing. I actually had a hard time picking my least favorite character between Ross and Rachel. It wasn't really about who made the most mistakes. It was just, which one did I not connect with? And maybe it's just because I I am a guy and I see Ross's side, and that could be part of it. But when I go to my favorite character, I'm not going to pick either of them.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Chandler.
Okay.
And that's now back to back that I've gone with Chandler, and I certainly wasn't expecting to do that. In fact, I think I've gone Chandler 3 out of 4. These are not Chandler episodes, but Chandler
He's so funny.
brings that relief
brings the whole room
that is
together.
necessary. Listen, it's not from Big Lebowski, okay? But him on the other side of the door, the whole idea that they find out that it was his idea to go fix the trail, and he's gonna like close the door, and all these little things. I feel like he was the star of the opposite side of the door.
And so
that's it. So because of that, I think he is my favorite of the bunch. I also did enjoy his scenes in the previous episode, especially the one where, he's down at the Xerox place acting all awkward. And then he also has the scene with Joey where they're deciding what they're going to do. Should they be in a situation where them and the Xerox girl are together? That comic relief helps Ross and Rachel be so dramatic. And I think that's why he's my favorite one. I'll do my best not to pick Chandler in the next one.
Hey, he deserves it.
Listen, he keeps winning. He's just going to keep on winning. That's how it goes.
Well, I'm excited to hear your ratings of these episodes.
The one the morning after is the better episode, in my opinion. It's not about the actions that happen to cause the breakup. It's about the response, the argument, the other friends listening in. That is the better of the two episodes. Yeah. I think these are both amazing. And they absolutely, and I don't know how they aired them, but they could have made this one of those part 1, part 2 episodes and just let it run.
Oh, for sure, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the one the morning after as the best one. Do you want me to put the number on it?
Yeah, what's your number?
Okay. So just for the record, the one with the prom video is the best Friends episode to date at a 9.3. We did have another one eclipse, like touch 9, and I forget what that one was. It was the one. 9 was the one that they all stayed in. Like they were all in the
same yes.
Where everyone was late. I think this is going to go between them. I think this is going to get close to prom. I don't think it's better than prom video. I think it's right near it though. So I'm going to give this one a 9.2. And I'm going to give the one where Ross and Rachel take a break, we give that a 9 flat. Okay. I think they're both way high up in the ratings.
Yeah, I am thinking this is the best one yet. The one
it could be
the second one here. The one the morning after. I'm giving that one a 9.5. I think that to me, this is like the way that it's choreographed between like Ross running around trying to stop the trail and then like him seeing her and then like the whole exchange and then the friends on the other side of the door. Like it's so perfect to me. There's no flaws in this episode. 9.5. The other one, the one, sorry guys, I'm forgetting the title. The one where Ross and Rachel take a break. That one I'm giving a 9.3. I think that one's just slightly below it, but I think both of these are really high.
But you have these these would be like your number 1 and number 2 episodes that we've seen so far then.
Oh, is the other one a 9 point? I think you said that one was a...
The other one's a 9.3.
Oh, a 9 point. Okay, so yeah.
The one where Ross and Rachel take a break would tie with prom video.
Yeah, I'm going with that. That's my final answer.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me. There's something about the prom video one where they get together that I like. It's that so one good. A little bit more, but Yeah, I just love I think I love the flashback.
It's so
with them
good.
all
Yeah,
on
I love
anyway.
that one too.
Anyway, let's see. Drum roll. All right, here we go. Friends episodes. Where are we at? Season 3. Sorry, this is taking longer than I expected. That drum roll is real long. Here we go. Episode 15 and 16. Okay. The higher rated episode of the 2 is the one with the morning after, for sure. And it clocks in as a 9 flat.
Oh my God!
9.0.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to put that in.
Wow.
Into my leaderboard. The one the morning after. The one, or with the morning after.
Wow. So the other one didn't break the 9s?
It didn't. In fact, it was an 8.4.
Wow. What's wrong with you people? Come on. Let's
Well, listen, here's the thing. I think a lot of people put these episodes together.
Yeah.
And when compartmentalized, you have to remember that part of the one where Ross and Rachel take a break is like Phoebe and the Diplomat. No one cares about that. That's a throwaway story.
Funny, though.
But they needed something for Phoebe and Monica to do, and it was it was funny, but the one the morning after, there are no weak points, not one. And I would agree. Like if you had said that if that had clocked in at 9.5, wouldn't have even been stunned. Like that is for real. But I had the one with the prom video being higher. I had a 9.2 though. Still,
I'm still in shock about the tie with the fake Monica episode from our last episode.
Well, that's way worse than this. I mean, the one with the morning after is still tied for the second highest episode we've ever seen. So, yeah, props to that. Right. And it should be. And again, I think we're gonna see this. Like these just nostalgic episodes that they're the ones that say, hey, this is what Friends is all about.
Well,
they're going to be the ones with the highest ratings.
And to me too, like some of the funniest stuff comes after Rachel and Ross aren't together and you have a whole lot of tension there. So yeah, while it's really great to see the happy couple, all cute, it's like even funnier when they're not getting along and then when they're both trying to do other things, even though you know that they still love each other, throughout all of that.
Yeah.
So,
and we will get
looking forward to
we're
that.
going to get into some of that obviously in our next podcast, but I will say some of it these are not always my next favorite.
Yeah.
So right after like let them like you got to let them heal because it's unrealistic that they're just going to be friends immediately. And they're clearly not. Yeah. And so
we were on a break.
There's definitely some awkwardness. Yeah, that's what we're getting to.
Oh my God, I'm going to break up with you. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead, guys. I just can't help it.
Listen, you are all Friends fans listening to this. You know what's coming. It's going to be fun. But yeah, so for what it's worth, the one the morning after 9.0, second best episode that we've seen so far on Friends. Despite us giving it slightly even higher ratings. So you want your votes to be heard? Jump on IMDb, put your votes in. Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok and go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us there. We are everywhere and we appreciate all the support you guys have given us so far. We would really love it if you could share this episode with just one friend. It would mean a whole lot to us. Thank you so much for following along. Check out our website, werunonreruns.com. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching Season 3, Episodes 17 and 18 for our next Friends Rewatch episode. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you, pal. Bye, guys.